All right, Baleigh, thank you so much for being on the podcast today.
Welcome.
Tell us a little bit about you, who you are, maybe aside from CrossFit.
So my name is Bailey. I am actually born in Florida. I moved briefly to Michigan and
True
realized
Floridian.
I know there's not many of us. So yeah, I
Uh-huh.
was born in Orlando, but grew up in Titusville. I actually met my husband in middle school. And
In
then
middle
in
school.
middle school.
I remember you knew each other in high school, but in middle
Yeah.
school, that's
Middle school.
awesome.
Yep, we dated briefly after high school. Went our separate ways, then reconnected. Gosh, I don't even know how many years ago now, 5 maybe or so. But yeah, I'm a new mom. I have an almost 15-month-old.
Yeah.
So living on the Space Coast is where we want to be. Lots going on in our lives, but
Yeah.
yeah, big focus, family, fitness, fun, and relaxation is all what we're about. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Awesome. And then we were joking, you are like the operations director at Route 3 CrossFit is
Yeah.
how. And so CrossFit is how you and your husband Fernando like connected again, correct?
Right. Yeah, so I was a collegiate athlete. I ran track and field in college. And then
Awesome. What school were you at?
Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University,
Yeah, yeah.
so out in
In
Daytona Beach.
Daytona? Yeah.
Yeah. So loved it. Was there for 5 years. I was a super senior. Really made my time worth it. And then after that, I just ran for fun, and I connected with a girlfriend of mine from high school, and we decided to sign up for a marathon. We're like, all right, let's do it. So
Uh-huh.
she was actually in PT school on rotation out in Austin, Texas, and she tried CrossFit, and she's like, Bailey, you will love this.
Mm-hmm.
And being a collegiate runner, we weren't focused on lifting things too much. I got hurt all the time. And being PT, she's like,
When
you,
you were hurt all
yeah,
the time when you were lifting or just hurt all the time in
when I
general?
was running and not lifting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then so she's like, hey, just go ahead and give CrossFit a try. I think you'll really like it. I'm out here. I love it. And you know Fernando from high school because she went to high school with me. She's like, just go into his gym. And so I went, and so I signed up in, I want to say, the end of August one year, and the race was in November. And so I was like, oh, I'll just sign up here and then be done. And I
Mm-hmm.
have not stopped since. And that was what, 2016? So here I
Awesome.
am.
There
But
you go. Love
yeah.
it.
So
Aw. And so what was your experience like then when you did so? Because I didn't get that when I started CrossFit. I had a friend that she was in law enforcement, and like a lot of the guys she worked with did CrossFit, and they like
oh,
got hurt. And so I got warned. I
oh
think I
gosh.
even looked at CrossFit before, and people were like, don't do it, you're gonna get hurt, blah
Oh
blah blah.
no, and it's funny that people say that because since I've joined CrossFit, I have not gotten hurt like one
Uh-huh.
time. And I think it's really just dependent on the gym. Like at our gym, you learn the basics. Like you don't
Hmm.
pick up a barbell for golly, I don't even know how long it was before I picked one up. You learn the
Yeah.
basics, you make sure you move well. Our gym, obviously, we have some competitive people, just the younger folks, that's what they like, but it's a majority
Yeah.
of normal people who just want to keep up with their kids,
Yes.
chase their grandkids around the room, and, be able to work in the garden and pick up the potting soil without, needing a assistance. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was very welcoming. I joined with a couple new people, some who are still there, which is a lot of fun. But yeah, like I said, it's definitely dependent on the gym. I've dropped into some gyms and I
Yes.
just get thrown in. I'm like, well, you don't even know me. You
Yeah. You
can
don't
do
even know
this,
what I
but
can do or
yeah,
not do.
yeah.
Yeah.
Luckily,
Yeah.
I know better.
Yes, yes.
So,
Well, I realized we went because you and I can dive into this conversation quick. If somebody's listening and they're like, I've never heard of CrossFit, or maybe they've heard of CrossFit, but like me, they've heard negative.
yeah,
What would you like, just like brief overview? Like, what is CrossFit? Like, when somebody goes to do CrossFit, what
yeah.
are they going to experience? Right.
Sure. And for me, and it can be, whatever you want it to be, right? But for me, it is full body movement. It's
Mhm.
functional fitness. And when I say
Yeah.
functional fitness, I feel like that's just, catchphrase
Functional fitness.
word.
Functional.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but no, it really is. It is teaching you how to do the movements. People look
Mhm.
at I say burpees, right? Because that's just the first one that pops in my head. Like, when the hell am I ever going to use a burpee in real life? I can't
What?
tell you how many times I like get on my stomach to grab something that my daughter drops and rolls underneath the couch. And that
Yeah.
is a burpee, you know, and
Yeah.
knowing, knowing how to
Getting,
get up off the ground without tweaking my back, like it's just muscle memory. You know,
yes.
I'll step down, lay on my tummy, grab it, and step up. I mean, it's just functional fitness. Yes, there's some lifting involved, but again,
Yeah.
if you go to the right gym, and at Route 3 CrossFit, we make sure that, you know, you're confidently, safely moving the equipment
Mhm.
if you're even there yet. Dumbbells are a great introductory that we, you know, do a lot as well. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's just functional, keep your body moving so you can actively, you know, be healthy outside of the gym.
Yes.
That's the main goal, at least for any CrossFit, you know, experience that I've had, is staying healthy outside the gym.
Sure.
That's why you go in.
Yeah. I love that. Or like you said, being able to lift a bag of potting soil without
Yeah.
hurting yourself. Like, I think that's a great point you made of like the functional movements are things we do in everyday life,
Oh yeah.
but doing them safely,
Yeah.
right? I hear that like when and sounds bad. Just as people get older, they're like, I've heard it at work, I've heard it from
Yeah.
patients, of, oh, I just bent over to grab blah, or I
Yeah.
reached up to do, like, people are doing
Yeah.
everyday movements and getting injured.
Right.
But I think, like the point you made, CrossFit is a great way to build strength and flexibility to
Right.
do everyday movements so you're not getting hurt doing
And
them.
the thing about it is, right, I mean, I'm 34 years old. I'm not necessarily thinking of my life when I'm 75 or 80, but I want to set myself up to where when I'm 75 or 80 years old and, you know, the remote falls on the floor, or I need to go to the grocery store and get a case of water for the hurricane, I can do it myself. Like, I
Yeah.
want to be able to, you know, get in the routine and the healthy lifestyle now. That way it's just second nature. So when I get
Yes.
there, you know, I'm fighting the good fight and I can, you know, fend for myself. So
Yes. Yes,
that's
I
what it's
love that. I have my dad has a sister, so he's just turned 80. So she's early 80s. She's like 82 and she still cycles and hikes
oh
and
wow.
I'm like, yes, I want
Yes.
that's hashtag goals.
Goals. Yes.
Hashtag life goals, fitness goals, whatever you want to call it.
Absolutely.
So you mentioned, yes, there's weights involved, but it's this functional movement. So if somebody's thinking, maybe they've seen CrossFit on TV or they've seen memes or something, I
Right.
always just think of like that, but did you die?
Right. Hmm.
But when they come in and do a workout, they can expect to be able to do nobody's gonna throw a big barbell in their
Oh
hand
golly,
from day one.
no. Yeah.
Mhm.
So one thing that's really important in that at our gym, our coaches has really focused on is the stimulus, right?
Mhm.
So you're going to have a class full of 8 people and you'll have, you know, someone who is might be pretty competitive. They've been doing it for 5 or 6 years, can do the pull-ups and the, you know, big barbell weights. But then you'll also have a 65-year-old woman who is just trying to get moving. And
Yeah.
so, you know, making sure that the coach listens to you. If you have injuries, maybe you can't run, you're going to row. If you
Mhm.
have maybe shoulder problems, you can't lift something overhead, you'll use a dumbbell just to your chest. I mean,
Mhm.
but the stimulus, so basically the stimulus applies to the effort that you put out. If say, hey, our goal today is 8 minutes. I want you
Mhm.
to finish this workout in 8 minutes. We're going
Mhm.
to modify these movements, but everybody in this class is going to, you know, have the same output because they're doing what works for them. And
Yeah.
that is, you know, what's really important with those workouts. And
Yeah.
not to intimidate people. And that's what we always try is, you know, if you come in, and
Yeah.
we always, if you know anybody's interested in the area, hey, come by for a consult, just check us out. You know, and we show them, hey, look at this person and this person. They're doing two
Yeah.
totally different movements, but they're
But
getting the
there's
same thing out of it. So
I can think of the last class I did at the gym. Your husband was coaching, and I remember, so it was I'll jokingly say, it was like the 9 a.m.
oh,
class.
mhm.
So
Yeah.
it's like a lot of the like moms and
Oh
stuff
yeah,
like
after
that.
school drop off.
Yeah, but yeah, I remember him making that point of, and there was like a couple people in the class that are very competitive, but he told us all, you should be aiming to get this many rounds.
Sure.
So the person who was lifting a lot of, maybe more weight, they were still needed to move through at that pace that I needed to move through, but maybe my weight was less than theirs was, or
Right.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you speak to, I know you were an athlete growing up, and so that, probably came very naturally for you, but like just what you've seen of benefits for women of doing workouts, something like CrossFit.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, for me personally, I worked out all the way through my pregnancy up until
Mhm.
2 days before delivery.
Oh,
I
wow.
will say that, I mean, it just my hips, my back, everything just moving, obviously modifying the movements really helped, with my
Mhm.
delivery. That's something a little separate, but just women in general.
Mhm.
I think just, getting the blood pumping, especially
Yeah.
that time of month for me personally, sometimes I'm like, oh, I just, not feeling it. But I go and I feel so much better
Mhm.
after the workout than I did
Yes.
before.
Yes.
Everything's moving. I'm finally able to get my body up and going, and that, really helps.
Mhm.
But yeah, physically and then mentally and socially, just having those women supporting
Yeah.
women in the gym,
Mhm.
that's really big. We're a really big family. Everybody, really does
Yeah.
support each other. You are never alone. You joked
Mhm.
earlier, but did you die? You will never die alone. There'll always be someone there suffering with you. Just having that sense of
Yeah.
community and, strong women, and men obviously supporting the women
Yeah.
as well, and vice versa,
Mhm.
is really special.
Yeah, and I will say, like, same thing. I've been in a number of CrossFit gyms now over the years, and I can speak to that. Just you guys do a great job of creating that environment where everybody's welcome and
Awesome.
everybody's encouraging one another and stuff.
It's good to hear.
And I will say too, just my experience with CrossFit has been, I've seen women kind of come in and going, I'm here to lose weight, or I'm here to, like, they maybe have these more, not that these aren't worthy goals, but they may be more, what would be the word? Not like cosmetic. I'm trying to think. Just like about their
Right.
appearance. Like, oh, I'm here because I want to lose weight, or I'm here because, I want to look differently.
Mhm.
But I have seen women come into CrossFit and realize like how strong that they are, and like, dang, I lifted that much weight. I
Right.
lifted my body weight, like I deadlift, or, even just like hitting 100 pounds. I, lifted 100 pounds, and just that confidence that comes from realizing how strong you can be, but
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
you've just never pushed yourself that hard before.
Right. Yeah. And the thing about it too is like, like we mentioned earlier, CrossFit's full body and you don't do the same thing every day, which I love. I need variety. I need,
Mhm.
someone to tell me what to do, how to do it, and then people to do it with. Right. But if you just commit to 3, 4 days a week and you just keep
Mhm.
coming, and then I feel like, at least for me, those habits, like I want to eat better because I've got to work out
Yeah.
later. Or if I like
Mhm.
doing the early classes every once in a while. It's like, man, that really sets my day off for success. Like, I'm
Yeah.
good to go, and it really just kind of everything else falls into place, right? Nutrition
Yes.
is huge. But having something to shoot for and a goal, I feel like at least, the weight will come off if that's someone's goal, but just committing to it and not necessarily focusing on that, but trusting who you are going to the gym with and who you're surrounding yourself by like-minded individuals, really
Yes.
is what'll help a lot of that success too.
Yes, yes. Oh my gosh, so much so. Yeah, and you're so right. I feel like the habits, like you build one habit and then it builds on the other habit and the
Yeah,
other habit and the other habit. And then
right.
all of a sudden you've like changed so much that you
Yeah.
didn't even.
And then at
Yeah.
that point, you don't even have to think about it. I feel like, there are these trend diets and, everything, to each their own, but people
Mhm.
then fall out of it. It doesn't become a way of life. And that's a thing. You just need to find something that works for you. If it's CrossFit, if it's 5K running, if it's tennis, just find something that works for you and that you enjoy. That way, as long as you're healthy and moving, that's all you can ask, right?
Yeah, yes, exactly. Yes. And don't, well, yeah, we're not thinking about that necessarily, but the more you move, the more it's easier to stay moving as we
Absolutely.
get older, right? So So if someone is listening to this, especially a woman that might be like, hey, I'm interested in this, but it's kind of a little intimidating, what would be the best way for them to get started?
Yeah. So our website, route3.fit, FIT.
Mhm.
That's where you can go. You can reach out to us. The way we do it is a little different, right? So you'll talk to our owner, Fernando, my husband, and
Mhm.
then just like to learn a little bit about you. From there, you'll come into the gym, like I mentioned earlier, just check it out. Make sure
Mhm.
you're comfortable, make sure that we are the right fit.
Yeah.
When you do that, then you talk, just talk about your goals. And
Mhm.
then you'll learn a little bit about CrossFit by watching and by talking with Coach Fernando. And then after that, you get to do a one-on-one with one of our coaches. That's
Mhm.
what you'll have a 90-minute session just to learn about it. Um, Make sure that you're comfortable and confident before you get thrown into your first class. But
Yeah.
obviously, our classes are small,
Mhm.
no more than 15 people. So you still get that individualized personal training, just more in a group setting.
Mhm.
So you're never out there just, like a deer in headlights. So, but yeah, just stop by our website, fill out the form, and then schedule a consult. And that's where you can learn a little about what it's about and make sure we're a good fit for you.
Perfect. Okay, so they'll go and we'll link the website so that people can just click on it from the show notes. But it's
Perfect.
route3.fit. Then there's a form to fill out, and then I'm assuming they'll get like a response,
Yep,
somebody will reach
yep.
out.
So yeah, so there's a phone number at the bottom. It's an automated text at first, but that
Perfect.
links directly to Coach Fernando. Um,
Mhm.
me being we're trying to do work-life balance. So if it's after a certain time of day, you might not hear back immediately. So I'm
Yes.
really trying to
Speak to that work-life balance. Y'all
we're
have
working
small
on it.
kids.
I know, but the 15-month-old bath time is, 7 o'clock. So
Yes, same
but
here.
no,
Same
it's
here.
yeah, no, he's really quick to respond, and like I said, it's just pretty chill and just want to get to know about you and your fitness and health and fitness goals. So, but yeah.
Awesome. And then just too, if somebody doesn't know where you guys are located, you're in Merritt Island, very close to Merritt Island High School, really across the street from Merritt
Yeah,
Island.
we're across the street, and I didn't even know it was right there, but right off Courtney. We're at 119 Mustang Way.
Yeah.
So it's right by the Merritt Island High School front office drop off. So
Cool.
so pretty
Awesome.
popping in the morning, but
Awesome.
really
Yeah.
nice
Oh
to
my
get
gosh.
there.
I bet. I bet. Uh-huh. I don't think I've ever been there when it's at drop off. So
Yeah.
I've either been before or after, I think.
Yeah,
So
you'll learn the shortcut if you ever are. You turn early at the Elks Lodge, then you don't have to get through the line. But quick,
okay.
one.
You've
Then you'll
learned the
get there in no
secrets after
time.
you've been there for a little
Yes.
while.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Bailey, for
Sure.
telling us, all about CrossFit, all the things. And just, yeah, I encourage any woman that's listening to this that is curious about getting strong. I'm a huge fan of CrossFit and proponent, and y'all have a great thing going there at Route 3, and they should definitely come check you out. So
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I had a lot of fun.